So that will wrap up all of the recaps that I wanted to go ahead and dive into for this week. Now, we always saw a grand total of 14 teams play in the week 0 slate. But even though we only saw 14 teams play, there were still some things that I saw which made me want to tinker with my any given Saturday top 25. Now, if you guys remember from the previous podcast, what I did is that my top 25 is a power rating system. And what these power ratings are is it will determine who would be favored over whom on a neutral side field. That's what these power ratings are. Now, I'm not going to read you from 11 to 25. If you want to see 11 through 25, I will have it linked in the card in one of these corners here. Don't know which corner. That'll be a surprise for you guys. But at the same time, I did want to show you guys my top 10 because I did make a couple of changes based off of what happened in this top 10. So we'll jump in first and foremost. We'll go from 1 through 5. We'll start at the top, and then I'll show you 6 through 10 later. So my top 4 is still the same. I'm not going to read off of this because it is literally the same, but I do have a new team in the top 5. USC was in this spot last week, and I decided to put Notre Dame at number 5 because they performed well above expectations in the Dublin game against Navy. Yes, it is Navy, and Navy could be garbage, but still had to go out and prove that you can stop that triple option. So because Notre Dame went out and played well above expectations, Notre Dame got a pretty substantial bump. They performed well above those expectations. So I moved Notre Dame into the top 5. We'll see. We probably won't see anything, any further upward movement in the next couple of weeks from Notre Dame because they are playing an FCS team. And in my power rating system, no matter how much you beat an FCS team by, you're not going to get any additional power rating points, if that makes sense, because it's an FCS team. You'll win. Congratulations. You want a cookie for that. If they lose against Tennessee State next week, it's a long shot, but we see some crazy things happen. Ask your local Michigan Wolverines fan back in 2007 how they feel. If Notre Dame does lose against Tennessee State, I don't think it's very likely, but if they do, then Notre Dame could be crashing down as well. So we'll see if Notre Dame can, keep their head on a swivel as they do have NC State and Ohio State coming up. We'll see if they can keep the focus there. But we'll go into the rest of the top 10. And I moved USC down a few spots. USC was ranked number 5 last week, as I mentioned, but I moved them down a few spots. And the main reason that I did that is while they didn't perform terribly against San Jose State, they performed at about the same level that I expected USC to play. I still have some concerns about that defense. Now, I'm not going to be like everyone else in terms of saying gloom and doom for USC. It's hard to do that when they still win by 28. But I am concerned about that defense, though, because that was the big question with the Trojans going into this season was, can their defense make enough of a stride in order to be a legitimate college football playoff contender, to be a legitimate national championship contender? We know USC will always be in the picture, but in order to have that legitimacy, they need that step up from their defense. And unfortunately, didn't really see that from San Jose State. They gave up 28 to the San Jose State Spartans. And granted, San Jose State got a good offense at the group of 5 level. They averaged 28 points a game last year. And that's what San Jose State hit here once again. Could be very much possible that San Jose State has one of the most prolific offenses in the group of 5. That could happen when all the dust settles on this college football season. But at the same time, though, USC is not going to score 50 points every game. Caleb Williams, what if he gets hurt? What if there's some issues on the offensive side of the ball? Not to mention, while San Jose State, they came motivated, they came fired up and ready to play. And this was a meaningful game as well, going into the third quarter too. We can't forget about that. They're going to play better offenses down the road. Just looking at the top 25 that's in place, Utah had a better offense last year than San Jose State. Washington, Oregon also in here as well. Oregon State, they're a dark horse with DJU. Do they take a step up on offense? So, and not to mention UCLA. They could be a dark horse team in that Pac-12 as well. Fringe dark horse, but they are a dark horse. So I want to see what USC does on the defensive side of the ball. But even though it looks like they moved down a few spots, the gap between Notre Dame and USC is really not that much at all. And I do want to point out, it is still early in the season. I do want to point that out with these power rankings. There's going to be a lot of volatility early in the year. But next game, USC will play Nevada at home. We'll see if they clean things up on the defensive side of the ball. If they do, then I could see USC moving right back up once again.